Hey guys, so today I'm going to share with you a couple of reasons why you're bloated. So I know a lot of people struggle with this. I do too. There's a lot of factors that go into this. And the first thing that I want to mention is there's a difference between bloating and actual fat gain. So bloating typically is short term, might last a couple of hours, maybe a day or two, whereas fat gain is a little bit longer. It takes more than a couple of days to come off. Three in one reasons why you're bloating: too much caffeine, too much carbonated drinks, and too much artificial sweeteners. So this is number one why you're bloated. Something like this: energy drinks, gas producing products. So one thing that I do add these in my diet sometimes, but I try to drink them very slowly. Usually I'll just have half of this instead of the whole thing. And I'll try to control my other things that I eat in the day, things that I drink in the day, so that this won't affect me as much, if that makes sense. One thing that I actually add in is this, and they are, it's very hard to see. No artificial sweeteners in this. This is sweetened with stevia. So this is kind of one thing that I urge people to get. Okay, another thing, yes, I changed. The next thing is too much fiber or not enough fiber. So if you're not having enough fiber, one thing that I recommend is psyllium husk. Psyllium husk. Let me show you. But when I use this, and you can't taste it, it does have a really disgusting taste if you eat it by itself. So I don't recommend you to do that. But for me personally, I'll put it in green smoothies. So let's say I make a smoothie with some strawberries, some cucumber spinach, some protein powder in there. And I'll add a tablespoon of the psyllium husk. And that kind of helps me get a little bit extra fiber in. And also, of course, you're getting some fiber from the vegetables in there. So I'm already like halfway done with these, which is why they're open and everything. But cruciferous veggies, things that are harder to digest. And they're typically the ones that have less water content. So things like cucumber, celery, lettuce, spinach, those are actually a little bit easier to digest rather than, this is broccolini. Can you see it? Broccoli. And these are Brussels sprouts. These are actually like one of the worst things. So when you do this, please do not eat these raw. It makes it even harder to digest. So when you eat vegetables like this, try not to eat them raw. Try to cook them. Things like onions. What else am I thinking of? Cauliflower, rice cauliflower even. Things like that. Make sure to chew them a lot and it'll be a little bit easier to digest. So for me personally, I either microwave them, I'll saute them, things like that. I literally add garlic salt on everything, and you still can do this. But if you're having too much salty foods, and you're not drinking enough water, then your body will actually retain more water. You can add as much salt as you want as long as you are drinking plenty of water. Now, the water intake is different for everyone, but for me personally, I sweat a lot when I do cardio and when I work out. So I typically try to get in a gallon and maybe even more than a gallon on certain days. So if you're someone who isn't very active, you can probably just get away with about 3 liters of water and you'll be fine, especially if you're not sweating a lot. But also the fact that I live in Florida and it's very hot outside, you actually need a little bit more water than you think you do. So anyways, add as much salt as you want, but if you're having too much without enough water, then you will retain water and that makes you a little bit bloated. This is probably a reason why you might be bloated, is the salad dressing that you're using. So I use this Bolthouse Farms creamy Caesar dressing because it's very low calorie. It's 2 tablespoons is 45 calories. So I tell my clients to do this. I'm going to show you something else though. I tell my clients to get this just because it tastes freaking amazing and it's very low calorie for a salad dressing, but it does contain dairy and a lot of people are sensitive to dairy and bloat by intaking dairy products. So one thing that I tell people to get instead is this coconut aminos. This is 0 calories and you can put it on top of your salads. And the ingredients in this is organic coconut and sea salt, basically. So that's it. This has 1 gram of carb. It's 5 calories, sorry, not 0. Another thing, guys, is that whey protein, some of you guys don't realize this, whey protein is dairy, okay? So if you want, let me just show you. So this is a packet that I have that I sometimes will use. But this Quest vanilla protein powder, this has dairy in it. It doesn't have soy, it is gluten-free, but it does contain dairy, so this might bloat you. So try to find a protein that is sweetened with stevia. So a vegan protein like this might be your best bet for that. So usually people are not aware that whey protein is dairy, and sometimes they might bloat from this, and they also, a lot of them, will include a ton of artificial sweeteners that will upset your stomach. So if you're having like a scoop or 2 scoops a day, then this might be one of the reasons why you're bloated. Last but not least is eating too fast. If you're eating way too fast, you don't have time to digest the food. If you're just kind of like throwing it all in and not really even chewing that much and just swallowing it because you're super hungry. I'm guilty of this, by the way. I do this all the time if I come home and I'm like starving. I eat so fast and my stomach like kills me after because I'm like, why am I so bloated? And it's because you're eating way too fast at once. So slow down, take time to chew your food, and I promise you're not going to be as bloated as you previously might have been. Eat more whole foods, eat more real foods, eat more natural foods. Not only are you going to feel better, but I promise you're going to be less bloated, and you're also going to be leaner. You really will. You're probably going to lose weight without even trying if you just switch over to whole foods, organic foods, and real food versus food that is made in a laboratory or that is heavily processed and things like that. So, and why do you get bloated?
I get bloated when I eat a ton of vegetables, and when I eat a lot of sweets, or just a lot
Sugar?
in general.
Sugar or
once.
artificial sweeteners?
More like artificial sweeteners for sure.
Yes. And the last thing that makes you bloated is too much gum. Try to limit it to like 1, maybe 2 pieces a day. Share your thoughts. When you get closer to a competition, is your stomach more sensitive? Do you get bloated more easily?
Honestly, yeah.
When you're leaner.
When you're leaner, or when you're actually lean, like under 5% body fat or so,
Well, for a girl. What about for a girl?
Yeah, for a guy, anything can get you bloated. It's crazy. Like, if you're eating about a cup of rice and you're not getting bloated with a cup of rice, like you just feel good, you feel like you're feeling in your muscles, and the moment that you feel like you can eat a little more because you're not getting bloated, and that little more actually gets you bloated, is insane, because that doesn't really happen when you're like off season or not lean. You can eat a lot more and you just feel full, but you don't really feel bloated like with a big ass belly. And that's how you feel when you're lean.
Okay, so when you're leaner, your stomach is more sensitive, so you have to be more careful
sensitive
to what you put inside of it. Okay, so we have covered fibrous veggies, too much salt, not enough water, artificial sweeteners, gum, not enough fiber, eating too fast. What's the other thing? Carbonated drinks, too much caffeine, and what else? Not eating the right foods, not eating clean foods, eating a bunch of crap. Okay, that is all. Does this make you bloated? This should not make you bloated because it is real food. Only thing is, do you have sour cream in there?
No, I don't.
Okay, no sour cream. Cheese? No cheese. Rice, chicken, steak, veggies, salsa, corn. Real food.